Baby, can you go get me some heat, son?
I was stuck between my grandmother's life and my own nightmare.
Blood in my pink panties. Pink blood on my sheets.
He crumbled me into pieces.
That wasn't no way to treat no wife, even if I was like carpet.
I wanted to be loved.
All kinds of shoes. Got to walk on a woman's chest. Boots, dress shoes, sneakers, cleats too. There was hardly no more love left in me. I was married to him too long.
If loving you is just a dream, then let me rest forever. It's just me and you and right now, baby. Will you be the one? Will you be the one?
The computer.
If love,
and that's what I was trying to test, just to make sure everything is kind of cool.
If loving you is just a dream, then let me rest forever. It's just me and you and right now, baby. Will you be the one? Will you be the one? Will you be the one to take my heart away?
I'm about to turn this off and see if you can hear me in the stream, y'all.
So welcome, I Nate. We're gonna have a great time today. We're doing a reading of BootPrints. If you haven't, she is the writer of.
Your connection is terrible.
Glover and Joanne Wiley. And they're going to talk experiences, the actual reading thereafter. So, Latonia, you can take it over while I.
You are breaking. They need Native. You can hear me. You are breaking up, and the people are saying, "How do they get on? They don't know how to follow the link. Where do they go to actually watch it? They're texting me. They said, I've looked on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I didn't get an email. I've been looking for a link. How do I find you? Where do people go to actually see us? So these are the texts that I'm getting. They're showing me their Bright ticket, and it says that the organizer will be with you in a moment.
So so I have to share it to the actual link. So that's what I'm doing now. So while you all are talking, I'll be sharing it out, and people will be able to get right into it.
Okay, all right, all right.
Hello.
So y'all can talk. Y'all can start the conversation.
I'm laughing because we were all sitting here waiting.
Can't hear you.
And Latonia put on this bright smile, like somebody said, 3, 2, 1, go.
Right.
And she was ready. So I'm like,
exactly.
I love it. I'm on here with 3 wonderful, beautiful actresses, and there is my Blue. There's
hello, everybody. I was trying to figure out how to do this. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Can y'all see me? Can you hear me? I need some more light. I'm look like I'm in a shadow.
To get me some light in here too. I guess when you talk about this, especially with Blue showing up, it is me and Tennelia in room 120, her by herself with those red robes behind us. And we hear this voice, and from there, I'm sure we didn't think that we would be here, right?
No, that was definitely, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Come a long way. And that was for Women's History Month and your piece. And I remember actually handing out flyers, like paper flyers for people to come and participate at the college.
So we know if somebody's handing out paper flyers, how long ago that was, right?
Right.
How to do that. So I guess he wanted to talk about the inspiration. We just having all this dead air. I think we're all still in kind of shock. Jesaira, like we're all just like, are we?
What do we do? What do we do?
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
You know, when there's
so we start by having a conversation. Yeah.
There's you know, so the camera is the little eye on your computer. There's no audience, there's no microphone, and it's like,
right,
what am I supposed to be doing? So Jesaira, why don't you open up with just kind of setting the stage for your post,
absolutely
post, talking about what month it is and the post that you put out.
Yeah, sure. So I think that it's important to first recognize that this month is Sexual Abuse Month, in addition to Poetry Month. And in honor of such, Nate Couser, who is the actual director, and then Latonia, who is the playwright, thought it would be appropriate and appropriate, is a great word, appropriate, to put this piece out and to begin to utilize this piece to have a conversation, open up a conversation about sexual violence, particularly in the Black community. This is something that is often a taboo topic. It's something that many of our women, but not only Black women, but even our Black men suffer from. And so what I wanted to do, I wanted to kind of give some staggerings, something for you to kind of consider and chew on, because I believe the intention of BootPrints and the intention of Latonia is to create a space for us to begin to have the conversation, to create space for courage to share our story. And so I just kind of want to give some statistics for you to consider as we are looking at one beautifully written presentation. According to the U.S. Bureau of Justice in 2000, okay, and that would be some years ago, but it's reported that 67% of sexual assaults were reported for children under 18. Okay, 34% of those victims were under 12. 1 of 7 of those victims are under 6 years old. Okay, 39 million Americans of all races are survivors of childhood and sexual abuse. Okay, now if we want to break that down even further into our community, which is, I think, the purpose, one of the purposes and intentions of this production, over 18% of African American women will be sexually assaulted in a lifetime. But here's the problem. 2 problems. We don't report, so incidents of sexual abuse and molestation is unreported and underaddressed. Okay. The research says that every 15 Black women that are sexually assaulted, only 1 Black woman will report it. That's less than 1%. That's 0.06% of women, of Black women, reporting the trauma, the sexual abuse that they've encountered. So what does this essentially say to us? There's a problem in our community. There's a social stigma attached to sexual abuse. It's a taboo. We're protecting the family image. We're protecting the one who has the perpetrator. We're protecting all of these things at the expense of our victims, our women, our men, our children who are being abused on a consistent basis. This is not even to mention what's beginning to happen with sex trafficking in the Black community. This is another thing that's happening in our Black community. And so I believe that the intent and purpose of this production is to open up conversations, because this impacts our mental health. When we don't deal with this issue, it comes up as trauma in our lives. It presents as depression. It can present in the area of low self-esteem, anxiety. It can present in very disruptive behaviors. It can present in so many different suicidal thoughts. Okay, the victim then becomes a perpetrator themselves. And so this is an opportunity for us we don't believe by no stretch of the imagination that this production will heal all the woes of the world or all the woes of sexual abuse. However, it is a tool to open up the conversation and for you to have courage to share your story. One other thing I just want to kind of bring out, that part of the issue with sexual abuse in the Black community is that our Black women are often hypersexualized in our communities. All right, Black women are typically deemed as sexual beings, and hence we're subject to misogyny, subject to discrimination, subject to all of these other issues that show up. And so I think that's the purpose of BootPrints. And I want Latonia to tell her story. I hope I did justice, kind of setting the stage. So this is the depiction, her story, which is opening the door. And even from a very personal perspective, I was molested. Between the ages of 7 and 9. And it was something that I did not share until I became 22 years old. The only reason I shared it was because I had a dream, and the dream was so vivid to me that it felt like I was actually in the situation. Well, I realized that I had repressed those memories, right? But it brought up so much confusion around my sexuality, confusion around my self-esteem, confusion around my body imaging. And so these are some of the things, that's just some of the things that happens when we're subject to sexual abuse, to sexual inappropriateness. So Latonia, you want to share? You want to kind of, I hope I kind of set the stage for you.
You did, especially with the statistics and what have you. And what I think happens in our community when it is uncle, when it is this man in the neighborhood, when it's the grandfather, when it's all of these figures, even sometimes the pastors and the people in the church. So when it's all of these figures, this is what tends to happen. It gets normalized. And so because it's normalized in such a way that as a woman, as a girl, as a female, this is what happens to us. This is what happens to women.
Right.
This is something that we are to expect. So then as you try to develop and mature into now a person, and you're trying to normalize this horrific violation, the soul knows that that is not true. So even though outside of you trying to portray it as this is normal, this is part of the culture, this is what these old men do, this is what they do, or I was somebody Viola Davis was sharing about her sister and how she went in the store, got molested, and when her mom went down there, they said he does that to all little girls. So it becomes normalized. That a guy in our community, many girls have been by that one person. So when it becomes normalized in that way, that woman who is becoming an adult, who's growing breasts, who's growing, who is now her femaleness, if you will, is coming out further. It ain't normal. But you don't know how to articulate it. You don't have the language to say, I'm opening my legs, but I don't know why I'm opening my legs. And I'm opening my legs because I think this is what I'm supposed to do. But then there's a part of me that's but I don't want to do this. I'm giving head because this is what I think I'm supposed to do. But there's a part of me going, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So you get so confused. And then so when we look at thank God, and I'm saying thank God, and I want people to hear this from me clearly. Thank God that my life on the outside doesn't look like the hell it's been on the inside.
That's a word.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. True.
Yeah. Because when people look at my life on the outside, okay, so what? I'm a full-figured woman. Okay, that so what?
Yeah.
So what? I might show a little instability. So when they look, I'm a college professor. She got all these degrees. So when you look at my life on the outside, it doesn't look like the trauma really stopped me from doing much of anything. Okay, so I'm just struggling with my body. I'm struggling with food. Outside of that, it looked like she's winning this war. No, not. You're not winning the war when nobody knows on the inside every day. Death looks better to you than the torment that you're in, or the nightmare screams.
Absolutely.
So you don't talk about that on an ongoing basis. You don't tell that to people because you're still trying to survive, and you're an overachiever in my case because you're still trying to make something out of the trauma that I can overcome this. I can be da 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 da. But when you by yourself, ain't nobody looking.
Yeah.
That type of hell, that type of anxiety, that type of one of my therapists said to me, because I didn't know this, I could not go to the dentist. And she said, because of how you were molested, you have anxiety because when you go to the dentist, that is somebody that's standing over you.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a dentist like that.
Yeah.
So we got to give you some. So my therapist said, or my son will tell you, cars. I can't be in cars. Anything that closes me in, where I don't feel like there is a way of escape. I have to. Nobody knows this, but I'm sitting in the car in the back seat, or I'm taking pills in order to drive because I'm still that 5-year-old little girl snatched off the street, brought into this closet somewhere, and the door is closed. I can't see nothing but my face. Hands are all over me, and then I'm sitting back out in the world, and I'm supposed to exist after that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. The other piece of this is that when we encounter trauma of that nature, it does impact certain regions and parts of our brain. It causes it to be, it causes it to impair our ability to make certain decisions, to discern what is good for us, what's healthy. we see through a distorted lens. And so it has an impact overall. It's not just our mental health, it's even our bodies. It impacts our bodies, and we can hold it in our bodies, the trauma that we experience, internalizing it, and it shows up in our body. And so that, this is a very, very important and serious topic matter to bring to the forefront of our community.
Amen. And I'm looking forward to just anybody, whether, for me, I did seek therapy from 12 to 50, from 12 years old to 50. Mm-hmm. I have been in counseling. So I'm an advocate of mental health services, because at some point in my life, I did not feel like I would be able to, the anxiety and the fear was and if you experience anxiety on different scales, and mine was because there were strangers, I was afraid of new people. That you kind of meet new people, so right. Woo, these are strangers, and I don't know what is going to happen to me. So therapy became that place where I could say, let's unpack this. And then became, let's unpack this. And for me, this piece right here, this particular piece was, it was dedicated to Tennelia, in a sense of, we worked together. She was going around town inviting people to come see her do plays. And I would go, and I thought she was underrated. I thought she was playing it safe. Now, we wasn't like friends like that, just colleagues. I just was going to see, I'm a playwright. I was just going to see her play. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? This is like, I'm going to write something for you, because I think you're a star. This is what I told her. I want to make you that is how it started.
That's how it happened. And of course I was like, okay, let me know.
Yes.
Give me the script when you're ready.
It took about 2 years, but I kept saying to her, look, I'm on it for real. I'm going to make you a star. And I just felt like she had star-like qualities that she was hiding. And so I wrote this piece, not realizing, now get this, y'all are actresses and so y'all have given me the feedback. Nate has certainly given me the feedback. I wrote this heavy with language because I felt like she could do it. Not understanding what y'all to go through. So I didn't write it from an actor perspective. I didn't have that in my mind.
Oh God!
I want y'all to be clear. I didn't have that.
You did not. You did.
I did. And I got feedback.
I remember at the first reading, we actually put out a disclaimer to the audience, because I just was like, are you sure you want me to read these words to these your colleagues? Is that okay? Are you sure? And she was like, we're going to do it with whatever's in the script. I'm okay. Okay. Folks is clutching pearls, listening to some of the things she has, her language. But it was awesome. It was such an awesome experience. So I'm glad to have traveled this journey with her.
Amen. And certainly looking forward to in this online virtual, that somebody bigger than us see it and take it to wherever it needs to go or whatever it needs to do. My thing is, I'm going to I will always give credence to Nate. Somebody told me that Nate is my Joseph, that I am Pharaoh. And I had a dream, and I couldn't get somebody to interpret my dream, and that Nate is my Joseph. And he came along being awesome. Whoever he was or whatever he had going on in his own life and whatever he was believing God for. And I came and shared the dream with him, and I said, and he saw it, and he worked with me in Tennelia, and he saw it, and it's been his from this point on, right?
Even when he had shared that we were going to split it, I was thinking, how is that going to work? But let me tell you, Joanne and Jesaira, like that, it's awesome. Like it's a whole new play when these characters come to life with other actors. It is such an awesome experience, and I am so happy to be part of it this go round.
Yes, right. Because you've never done it with
I have not.
right?
I haven't done it with anyone else.
Anybody. Yeah.
No.
Oh, right. That's right. So this is going to be interesting.
Yes, I was your stage manager. If you remember,
I
when
remember
we first split up, I was your stage manager. I was like, no, I don't think I can do this. I was your stage manager, but I've never been a part of the show. I've never been a part of it like this.
Okay, so that's gonna be, and so if you're listening, when she says she's never been a part of it, she means with them. She has certainly carried it as a one-woman show for years by herself. So be clear on that. That she has definitely have done it by DC for the Q, for the school, for UB. She has carried that stage by herself for a number of years. And so I'm looking forward to see you doing it with the cast. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing now. I'm guessing it's time to start. Our director, I don't know where he's kind of handling the business behind the scene. We have Blue here with us, and I know he is going to
I'm gonna let the spirit lead me.
He gonna blow us out of the water and let the spirit lead him. So if you're watching from Facebook, wherever you're watching, YouTube, wherever you're watching, Blue, when you get the singing contract, can you just point back to BootPrints? Don't forget us, please.
Absolutely. Because you got that
voice.
Thank you so much.
Voice.
Thank you for having me.
Oh
thank
my
you.
God.
Thank you.
You know I requested you, right? You know that.
Thank you. I mean, like I said, thank you. You don't realize how much, well, it just brings back so many memories. Good memories. This is the first time I led a choir. So this was like a first for me. And it's crazy that it's like how things have come back full circle. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Once I saw it, it was like God was smiling on me in a way I cannot understand. So because this production has been so many places and it has so many experiences that you guys just don't know. And there's nothing like the first time, as they say.
That's true.
Like the first time. I will never forget the first time when this young man just opened up his mouth and heaven fell. So Blue is gonna open up BootPrints. Stay tuned and enjoy.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Death isn't for human consumption. No one should have to eat the meat of death or drink from the bitter cup of sorrow.
Gmama's death left a hole in me. And now we gotta decide what we gonna bury her in.
Can they see me? Can I feel their hands on my hands? Do I have a pulse? Oh, I was tired.
My grandmother was just tired. I saw life leave her before it left her body.
And we gotta decide what we gonna dress her in. Everybody waiting to see what we gonna dress her in. Like that's all her life amounted to. What we gonna put on her back in the coffin.
After raising all family, Mommy, and everybody only remember me during the holidays. My dresses become my family. I bought all the colors they had in the same design if I liked the suit. I wanted somebody to say it was pretty in all the colors it come in. That's what I come to love, colors.
I didn't know what to do. My grandmother has all these suits and hats and colors, and they all remind me of something in her life, something in our life, something in my colors. What are we supposed to dress her in? The most obvious is black. The undertaker is waiting for us to make a decision to bring my grandmother's homegoing clothes to the funeral parlor.
I don't know what they call it, no damn funeral home. Don't nobody live there before a couple days before they burn in the oven or throw them in the dirt. And we sitting in the indecision while Gmama's naked body covered with a sheet. I keep thinking, I hope she ain't cold. My mind keep wanting to say that way. I think she's asleep. And when we get there, we gonna bring her back home.
I told them when I die to bury me in my favorite Sunday suit. But since my favorite suit and all the colors in the earth, I don't know what Gingel gonna bury me in. Anything but pink would suit me just fine. Don't think I want my body covered in pink for all eternity.
Do I pick black because black? Black. Black is the color of that cough my granddaddy had before he died. His lungs as black as the pipe he used to smoke his tobacco. Black is the color of coffee with no cream. The color of buzzards hovering over caucuses on hot asphalt. It's those dark hurricanes, nightfall when the birds slumber, dirty mud on hardwood floors. Gmama used to say, it's the color of Africa raped and robbed of honeycombs and plum grapes. Black is the color of all birth, growing in the womb and life, traveling down this dark birth canal. It's the color of rhyme and reasons, songs and silence, the color of freedom and war, woes and injustice. It's the color of blues being played down at Ogla's bar on Saturday night. It's the color of regret, rage, life used up, weary, sipping darkness out of a shot glass. It's the color of my bruised soul turned inside out. The color of Gmama's coffin, black. Gmama's favorite suit, black. Crying, black. Weeping, black. The sadness, black. Time to bury Gmama, black.
Gmama's dead, and the lights done gone out in my soul. I shadow of everyone's sorrow. I come back home, left my chillins up north with their dad. They call me Gingel, like the soda. I don't drink sodas, but I could drink me a cold Budweiser. Guys, take it straight to the head. I love the ways we sound too, all incorrect and proper at the same time. Don't mean we's ignorant. That's what people think, though. Gmama said, we's just foreigners like all the other foreigners in America. Down south, we knows the truth. Too many of our folks still remember it all. I think all my relatives were slaves. Gmama told stories like she come through the middle passage with the rest of them. Death causes you to remember all kinds of stuff. Bring up stores and open locked closet doors. Some of them closet doors are locked with a big old dresser in front of it. You don't even know it's a closet door behind that dresser. Filled with skeletons. So many skeletons come out at death. Everybody got skeletons. And the color black, sure enough, give them permission to walk around.
I didn't even know I was pregnant until I felt that baby sucking the life out of me. I couldn't breathe. That's when I know what was in me was a mass of mistakes. A lustful night in the backseat of that car, staring at a broken lamppost. My body gyrating to them heaving pleasures between my thighs. That was a black night. I was 17 years old. I was hanging clothes on the line, blood dripping down my legs. I thought I was peeing on myself, except it was black. My stomach cramped. I leaned on the side of the house. The orange trees and cherry bushes hid me from the neighbors. That baby fell right out from between my legs on the ground. I picked it up, and it fit right in my hand. Looked like it was a boy. A mass of mistakes. A black cloud in my hands. I dug a hole in the ground, and I buried my son out back by the clotheslines and marked it with a rock. I had no husband. I couldn't tell Brave Boy what we did in the dark got me with child. It was my first time, too. I never told a soul that story to my grandbaby Gingel. I mean, Myeshia. She know all about my darkness, about my skeletons. See, sometimes you've got to introduce your skeleton. Be friends with them. That's what keep them from haunting you.
I think purple was my grandmother's favorite color. She said when she got to heaven, she was going to put her purple robe on. I believe it was a special one made just for her. Shades of purple for all the children she took care of, all of the sacrifices she made. Purple plums. I love plums. My grandmother would boil them for me and make me a plum tea with honey. You know, it was our special time. She'd tell me so many stories about our family history, stories about the love of her life, my grandfather's sweet. Purple, the color of eggplant. I became a vegetarian a few years ago when I got sick, ate mainly eggplants for protein. Purple, the color of jelly in mason jars made by my grandmother's hands. I hid the jelly. Too many people in the house. We all hated that government peanut butter. Purple, the color I painted my first daughter's room. Purple, my grandmother's favorite teacup with the Lord's Prayer written on the sides. Purple violets, Yes, violets, lots and lots of violets. I have to get violets for the funeral. Maybe I'll go with purple.
It's hard enough for me to pick my own damn clothes. That's why they're still waiting. I woke up in a purple haze. I keep drinking the same shit that makes me throw up. I vomited this morning thinking about all this pressure. Out drinking all night back home. I went to Ola's ball. I guess it's the same insanity I done seen my whole life. My daddy drinking from bottles and cans of poison, forever knowing it's gonna make him sick. Ain't never stopped him from doing it. But forever is too long. Too long to be doing all that stuff with no joy on the inside. Just be doing stuff that be making you sick all the time. Being a damn fool because everybody done called you fool for so long. I want to talk to God about this expectation stuff. Because looks like there's a lot of that going around, especially for a woman. Everybody expecting you to do what's right and they doing what's wrong. Gmama wanted me to come home. She said, Gingel, you's family down south. I talk to my Gmama once a week. And at least once a year, I try to take her somewhere. Buy another damn suit or hat, like clothes, because her sanity. I stopped on account of my divorce. Everybody got to find their way back home sometimes. Even if it was to take Gmama shopping for a dress.
I just packed up all my suits the car could hold. And I just went back home to find me some peace after my last husband died. Pete, my first husband of 20 years, stepped with heavy boot steps. His boots snagged and pulled up fibers in the carpet like a woman's high-heeled shoes. It was like the same way he pulled at my heartstrings. There was hardly no more love left in me. I was married to him for too long. Even I know that wasn't no way to be treating no wife, even if I was like her. God expected women to lay down and gird up. Women's have to take boots on their chests and dress shoes and sneakers and cleats too. Women's like carpet. All kinds of shoes gotta walk on women. Then God let a man walk on me with bare feet. Ain't never felt no light-footed man on my heart. I could hardly feel him sometimes. Sweet was so soft with his steps. His boot prints made me feel light. I never know God to make no man soft and tender like a woman. I never know God to make no man soft and tender like a woman and still be full of a man's strength, but they exist though. My sweet was sure one of them. Maybe that's why I like purple so much. Sweet always smiled when I wore purple on the second Sunday for Women's Day. You easily miss a man who tell you you're pretty.
I don't know why anyone would wear a brown suit. Brown is black with bleach splashed on it. Black bleached. Well, that's what it looked like to me, like God poured a little Clorox on dirt. Brown is a stinky color. Shit is brown, and coffee diluted is brown. The color between dark-skinned and light-skinned folks. Watered down life like lukewarm spit. Life dull, boring, predictable. Life all chewed up and undigested. But the best thing about brown is pecans, not suits. Grandmother always had pecans during Christmas. Hard on the outside and sweet on the inside. You had to crack them open to get to the sweetness. But once you're on the inside, it's a delightful treat. That's what happens with brown. A tree breaks through the bleached earth, and life comes forth just like that. You never know what life will bring you. I knew life would bring death, but I thought my grandmother would live forever.
I'd rather see her in a brown suit than remember all that brown carpet. Gmama had so many boot prints on her carpet and her heart. Carpet always looked like we had dog shitting everywhere. Brown spots against brown wooden floors and throw rugs. So many folks coming through just like they is now. They's been in and out the house all day paying their respect. All kinds of shoe prints on the carpets. Gmama had 3 husbands, 12 children, and outlived most of them. I wasn't one of them. I was one of the grandbabies left at her kitchen table. Another mouth to feed. My eyes was like the sweetness in pecans. She said that about me. So I was her surprise, her last grandbaby girl. Because my mama, Deborah Ann, was a different kind of carpet. She didn't see no reasons for men to be walking on her. I ain't never thought Gmama was ever gonna die.
People don't know who they is because they got too many choices. Me and Sister knowed we was carpet. And when we wanted to be something else, we'll go buy us a new suit. Women these days change their names and their bodies and even change into men. We just bought a new suit. Now, brown ain't never been my favorite color, but I accepted coming that color and bought a brown suit too. And now Gingel don't want to be Gingel. Told us to call her Myeshia. Said her daddy gave her that name. That's all he gave her was a name, because he didn't do nothing else. She changing and want to force us to change too, but she carpet like the rest of us. I tell her, God made your carpet too. But women's like the best kind of carpet. God designed us for BootPrints. Because lots of folks trample on us sometimes by mistake. They didn't mean to be so heavy-footed. See, when you's got 12 children, everybody think you're strong. I tells Gingel, carpet for walking on, ain't it? We's ain't flowers, we's carpet. God made us carpet and rugs because we could take a beating. We could take more, and some women's can't take much at all. Like my Deborah Ann. She ain't never learned the way. You's got to know the way God made you and stay that way. I trust the Lord. Now, I don't know everything, but what my mama told me. Trust the Lord's way. Submit to your husbands. That's what I did. And if that's not enough, then your husband will let you buy a new suit.
Don't you like this color? It would be lovely on my grandmother. Burgundy. It's the sun unnoticed at 5 p.m. on an autumn's day in Dania. The color of brick house up north, no paint. Burgundy brick homes fashioned in a row. Brandy sipped on a child's cup real slow, sometimes swallowed in a gulp. Burgundy is the color of my Aunt Louise's hair after too much wine and ruminating. She in there right now talking about how she ain't ever growing old. The color of her lipstick, burgundy, makes you stare a little longer. The quilt we made way back in the closet. Aunt Louise was always cold. My favorite aunt, the burgundy sunburnt aunt. My grandmother's old beat up Impala. No seatbelts required and 4 children in the back seat and 2 in the front. We were following the burgundy sun to Dania Beach. A swim before dinner under the shade of palm trees along the Atlantic Ocean. Burgundy, the color of sweet memories. Growing up north, growing up south, sour memories. Growing up south, burgundy, going home. Following the sun home. Going home. Family. Burgundy. Good memories for my grandmother's final rest.
Death make you remember things that won't even there. Gmama hid money in her burgundy house coat. That's what I remember. She was stingy. And they think she left me lots of money. The old burgundy trunk out back is empty. Told her to put that money in the bank. She didn't trust no banks. My family says I'm selfish because I don't come home much. Don't come down south much. I love being home, but where is my home? My family. Want to move back down south with my family because Gmama dead. She left the money for me. The money and the house to take her place. It's all paid for on a quarter acre of land. It's enough for me to start dreaming again. I want to go back to school maybe. Get another degree in something I really want to do. Like anthropology. Something that makes me smile, touch my cheekbone. I can afford to dream a little now. I don't want to take Gmama's place. I want to create my own happiness.
Even your special children give you cause for headache. They think they know more about life and ain't been alive long enough to know when the sun rises without a clock. Gingel, dreaming is something Black folks can't afford. Dreaming is a luxury that costs more than the mortgage payments. Ain't no time for dreaming. I buried all 3 of my husbands before the youngest was grown. Had to feed my table. I had to feed my table. Dreaming is something that white folks do. We fix our minds on eating, working, and not getting sick. Yours uncle was an all-star basketball player. I seen my son play with that ball too. He was good like they says. Bouncing around that burgundy ball all the time. They gave him a scholarship to the university. We's couldn't afford no dreaming. Dreaming was something we's did and not. Our eyes closed tight under a dark sky, the house still from labor. That's when we could dream. You don't think I ever wanted to be more than a maid? I had dreams too. Wanted to go up north, study at the university, be a nurse. Wasn't nothing up north but disappointments. My home down south, but disappointments. Chasing dreams, thinking white folks different up there. We's ain't had time for chasing after dreams. We've got to keep moving. We've got to keep praying. Keep moving, keep praying. That's the song me and sister sang while waiting on the bus.
Moving on, we gotta keep moving. Moving on. You prayed all day and you prayed all night. We gotta keep moving, moving on. You gotta keep singing all day long. We gotta keep singing all day long. We prayed all day and we prayed all night. We gotta keep moving, moving on.
I don't know why grandmother bought this suit. Green is not a color that should be on our bodies. Green is the color of money. But it was the last thing I thought about. We didn't have much of it. If I saw it, it wasn't green. Copper and silver dollars. Green. Grass. Shep throwing up in the grass. Sniffing his vomit and playing in it. I never understood why dogs return to their vomit. Why I return to mine. Why I return to mine. Money. For the money. That's why we always go back. Palm trees line down the beach. Green and fertile. Trees. Orange trees, mango trees, grapefruit trees, avocado trees, guava trees, and coconut trees. You wouldn't think Black folks lived on this piece of paradise, but we did. Green is the color of hope. Travel to far-off places across landscapes. Green. Money, money, money. The color of new beginnings. I hope she left me more money than all these suits. I don't even wear these types of suits.
I kept going back to my husband. I thought I could submit more, do better. He bought me a suit every time I came back. Gmama drilled that in my head. She said she don't want me fooling myself, ending up like Deborah Ann. Like Deborah Ann. Deborah Ann, my mama, refused Gmama life. Her life was filled of wonderment, drugs, prison, and eventually murders. Folks would tell us all the time what Deborah Ann was doing in the streets. We didn't see her much. Deborah Ann was killed. Gmama didn't talk much about the murder. Wouldn't talk about my mama. Wouldn't talk about the murder. 24 years old, married and with my first daughter when my mama died. Dana, my daughter, was beautiful just like my mama, had her ways, stubborn. I had a different kind of life then, Gmama and Deborah Ann. I was an educated housewife. I had a maid, and she did all the cleaning and most of the cooking. A family and my own house, not filled with other people's chillings. My own chillings. My own chillings. I just wanted my own chillings, but I had to share my husband with things. He was a handsome man and loved everybody. Didn't seem like nobody was off limits, the women's or the men's. We lived like wealthy folks, traveled like wealthy folks, secrets like wealthy folks. I laid down, still and obedient, like one of Gmama's throw rugs. My husband walked on me like it was my duty. I was just like carpet, like Gmama drilled in my head. He had fancy leather shoes, so I didn't know how boot prints felt, but leather shoes ripped my heart. I almost bled to death. Wished I was back south with Gmama. Wished I was home. Wished I was home. Traveling along 195, soaking up all the green trees, trees.
I told Gingel, You just got to be what you is. Gingel, you got to look at a man's shoes. That's what I come to learn about men's. You got to see how he walks. You've got to see how he steps. Does he step hard like thunder, like he's carrying lumber on his shoulders? Or is his steps quiet like air rest? Pay attention to how he cares for his shoes. Your granddaddy Sweet never wore his work boots in the house. He clean them out back and leave them on the back porch. He walk on my rugs with his socks, with his bare feet. Never no work boots on the carpet. Never no boot print on my carpet or on my heart. My other husbands, oh, they wore their work boots right up to my bedroom. That means a man will bring home his rage, bring it right up to the bed y'all sleeping. You's want a man who knows how to leave his rage outside the house, his liquor outside the house, his other women's outside the house. Myeshia, I knowed something wrong, Gingel. I knowed something is wrong. Come back home. Come back home. They're gonna kill you up there.
Turquoise, Deborah Ann's jewelry. That's the only thing I remember about Turquoise. She left me twice. Turquoise, Deborah Ann's jewelry. My grandmother gave me her jewelry. Turquoise, the swimming hole at Snyder's Park, swimming until dusk, fish around our ankles. Deborah Ann, they gave me her jewelry. Couldn't find me no suit in turquoise, so they kept giving me pieces of Deborah Ann's jewelry. She left me twice. Turquoise, the ocean before the Bahamas shoreline. Cotton candy at the state fair mixed with pink and yellow. Turquoise tastes the best. The color in the crayon box still sharpened, praying for use. The sky, when all the clouds have gone home after a rainstorm. My grandmother gave me her jewelry. I had her smile, her hands. My grandmother gave me her jewelry. She left me twice. At nightfall, turquoise skies, Deborah Ann's turquoise jewelry. Bracelets, necklaces, and rings all adorned her body. My mother thought she was a Native American, wore all kinds of turquoise treasures, stayed on the reservations with them, loved them. She thought she was a Native American. She left me twice. My mother, Deborah Ann, my mother wanted to be anything but black, anything but carpet, anything but my grandmother, anything but black and poor, anything but a Southerner, anything but trapped, anything other than a suit collecting woman with dreams crusted at the edge of her eyelashes.
I was my mama's daughter, but my daddy's child. I didn't want to be black. I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want no man walking on me like carpet either. But I was my daddy's child. Gmama didn't believe in choices. It was the way it was. Women ought to be grateful for what we've got. Gmama lived in this house almost 50 years. She lived in danger for all my life. Deborah Ann turquoise jewelry still in my old room. That beach, the beach for the black folk, now everybody go. Now it's South Beach. Now it's a famous place. A few miles north was the only beach when we wanted to get out of danger. Things done changed. The beach done changed. Deborah Ann said men wasn't supposed to be beating on us. Deborah Ann was beautiful, and men loved her. That didn't leave much room for me. I was my daddy's child, she would say. Deborah Ann was off with some man or another. I was her only child, and she left me with Gmama. She didn't believe in no submission. Deborah Ann said that Gmama beaded carpet till all the ants let go of the fibers. Said the ants would fall dead to the ground from all that beating. She said that was Gmama's way of dealing with all that submission. She beat carpet because she couldn't beat the system. Couldn't beat her children into saints. Couldn't beat racism. Couldn't beat inequality. So she had to beat rugs. Gmama had lots of rugs too. These was everywhere, and she was always outside beating them clean. So many feet walking around Gmama's house. She was always beating some carpet, beating off BootPrints, beating off BootPrints, beating off, beating off, beating.
I didn't want no turquoise suit. Made me think about my daughter, Deborah Ann. I found one time, but gave it to sister. Turquoise hurt my heart. I know all kinds of things happens to women's all over the world. But there's different kinds of women's. But we still are women's. Your mama think black women's got it the hardest. I don't know who's got it the hardest. All I know was women's was carpet. I didn't know women could be other things than lay down and walked on. Lay down like carpet, nailed down to cover up stains, to cover up holes, to cover up their husband's sins. But women needs protecting too. Sometimes we gotta protect each other. I didn't protect Deborah Ann, that's why she run off. And I didn't protect Gingel, that's why she moved up north. I didn't protect the women's. I was just told them to lay down and be quiet and lay down and be silent, lay down and take the BootPrint. Now I try to protect Myeshia with my money, try and protect Myeshia with my money. The insurance money from my last two husbands in the bank for Gingel for Myeshia. She said, Gmama needs a bank account. Now, I don't know nothing about that. Some of my money is still in that utility closet out back in an old trunk. That money older than Gingel herself. I knows money can protect her from life being so hard. I put up $5 a week from my wages, put them in my house coat pockets. Can't expect a man to take care of you forever. Put it in the bank, she said. Put it in the bank. Too much money to leave in the house when all your chilling's on drugs at my house looking for shelter. At my house looking for a hot meal. At my house looking for my money. Gingel wouldn't have to be carpet no more. I know she up north suffering. Suffering. I could feel suffering in my bones. She could use my money, buy a little bit of happiness. Make sure them girls go to the university. We've got to protect the little girls. Protect the babies. The babies. I told them what my mama told me. Shh.
I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from home.
Ooh, sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Ooh, sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Ooh, sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone a long way from home, a long way from home.
Ooh, sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long way from home, home, a long way from home.
I'm glad she don't have no orange suit. I don't want to see any more orange. Orange, the prison jumper. My father's name printed as numbers across that orange jumper. 238-98990-115. Criminal. My father. Criminal. My father, a criminal. Oranges. Florida oranges on the ground. Pick up the oranges. Pick up the oranges. Our chores to fill the baskets with oranges. I hated being outside in the sun. 98 degrees picking up orange. Squeezing oranges. Throwing oranges. Eating oranges. I wanted to live up north. The concrete jungle. No more trees. No more laboring in the sun. No more dreams deferred. No more blue-collared workers. No more prejudiced white folks. Trapped. Imprisoned like my daddy. Wearing my own orange dress. Dresses, dresses, dresses. My future pinned to my orange dress. My future pinned to my gender. My future pinned to my race. Pinned. My future already written for me.
I wish Gmama had an orange blouse or something. I was my daddy's child, and orange meant it meant I got to see him. My daddy. Handsome in that orange jumper. His name printed in numbers. 238989990-115. He looked good in orange. I saw him in orange so much it became my favorite color. Made me think about when the next time I got to see him. Orange juice on the table for breakfast every day. Fresh or from the store. Oranges, oranges, oranges. They made me wear dresses. Gmama said it was time to wear dresses. Said dresses for girls. I wanted an orange Easter suit. I guess clothes hold memories. I had an orange sundress, same color as my daddy. I wore shorts under my sundress so I could be a boy, so I could climb the orange trees with the boys. Daddy Sweet built us a playhouse in the orange tree. I love being home. The South is my home. I belong among the orange trees, the cherry bushes, and the mango trees. I'm a Southern girl, Florida girl trapped in a sunless life.
Gingel wanted to go up north, talking about it's too hot down here. Wanted to be an explorer like her mama, Debbie. Feel free like her papa, Buddy. She was her daddy's child. She got this notion from a girl in high school, told her she was backwards. She wanted to go up north to straighten herself out. The girl told my Gingel she was ignorant. Got Gingel to start reading books by that Hurston's woman. Had her reading Alice Walker. Had her coming home talking about what black women doing. No more dresses, she tell me. No more dresses, Gmama. Wouldn't put on a dress no more. Wouldn't go see her papa no more. Didn't want me to put her straight in the comb till her hair no more either. Up north ain't no place for Myeshia. Up north ain't no place for Gingel. She too innocent. Gingel can't live without the sunshine. Myeshia can't live without trees. Told us to stop calling her Gingel. Every time the sun set, Gingel was changing. And when it rose in the morning, I was losing my Gingel. I was losing my hope. I was losing another daughter. I was just losing.
Pink. Yeah, let's go buy her a pink suit. She don't have one of those. Pink. 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 Yeah, I'm sure she'd hate forever being buried in a pink suit. I hated pink. When we moved in that white neighborhood, my grandmother painted the house pink. Pink. Pepto-Bismol paint pink. A pink house. We were an eyesore. Niggas, go home. Niggas, go home. Pink. The color of white folks. Hot blood shining through their faces. Pink faces can't hide. Can't hide their hatred. Can't hide their racism. Can't hide a letter. Nailed to the front door, pinned to the front door, like Christ on the cross. Dead chickens thrown in the yard. Blood, pink blood, like it's loosed its power, trickling down the door frame. Blood with no power, trickling down the door frame. Niggas, go home. That's what the letter said. Niggas, go home. We were home. The new home. The pink home. Hands on my body. Hands on my body. His hands on my body inside the new home. His hands on my body outside the new home. Dead chickens inside, tugging on my pink nightgown outside, blood trickling down the door frame. Everything was pink. I was surrounded by this ideology. Women are like carpet. God made us the best kind of carpet to be walked on. That's what my grandmother said. Walked on by molestation, walked on by racism, inequality, misogynistic slurs. That's what Gmama preached.
Gingel, you got to know your place in the world.
Don't call me Gingel, I told her repeatedly.
My name is Myeshia, I told her.
My place in the world. My place in the world. My mother didn't know her place in the world. I didn't know my place in the world. Her pink world of submission, of subjugation, of surrender, of my grandmother's lies.
Pink is a pretty color. The rose bushes, the petals when they just growing buds. Pink is for girls. Pink is for girls. I love being a girl. Gmama said God made me special. God made me special. I believed her. God made me special. For sitting on laps for lollipops, sitting on laps for dollar bills, sitting on laps. God made me special for sitting on laps. Blood in my pink panties, pink blood on my sheets. Gmama said, I's becoming a woman now. I's got to do women's things. I's got to know women's things. I's love being a woman. Taught me how to bake a cake. I was cooking supper at 12. Wanted to be a full-grown woman like my cousins. Wanted to be a full-grown woman. Wanted to be loved by a man like Granddaddy Sweet. Like my Granddaddy Sweet loved Gmama. Wanted to be loved. Wanted to be a lady in my pink suit. Mr. George, Granddaddy Sweet's friend, said he loved when I wore my pink dress. But dresses was for girls. I wanted a suit like Gmama. Wanted the men to touch me like they did Gmama in church. Men wanted to rub on my shoulders, rubbed on my arms, touched my hair, touched my private. Gmama said my private was private. Mr. George was like Granddaddy Sweet. He was his friend. He was his friend. Came over to our house all the time. The new house. The pink house. The pink house in the South. No more Gingel in the pink house. No more safety in the pink house. No more girl in the pink house. In the pink house, I became a woman.
All I knowed was what I knowed. All I knowed was what I knowed. The Bible said that women's was to be silent. Women's had their place in the world, and I knowed my place. Myeshia was changing. Gingel was changing into Myeshia, and I wanted my Gingel back. I didn't know how to raise her no more. She was my last grandbaby, and I was tired. She was just like her mother. I didn't want to lose my Gingel to the world. I followed the Bible and I raised her right. I put good morals in her. Things changed when we moved. When we moved to the pink house. The pink house. The pink house. I lost my grandbaby. She say, don't call me Gingel. My name is Myeshia. Somewhere in that pink house, I lost my grandbaby. I lost my Gingel. Pink is the color of failure. Ain't nobody gonna bury me in no pink suit.
Yellow, strong and vibrant. Yes, let's bury her in yellow suit. I bet she'd be the brightest corpse. Dandelions in fields for miles and miles. Beautiful flowers called weeds. We can't miss them. They were everywhere. Caution signs, yield signs, slow down, wait. My grandfather loved picking them. We picked them together in my dreams. Yellow. I think about bananas, how down south they grew by the driveway. Whoever sat on the passenger side of the car could touch them. Pull a ripe yellow banana down from the tree. The bees, the stings, yellow, cautions. Butter, we use butter for everything. Cautions. Butter was on the table for every meal. It didn't matter what was being served. Butter, down south, butter, corn on a cob, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, yellow, mornings. You can't ignore something yellow when it's right in front of your face. My grandmother was always in my face. You gotta slow down, yield, pay attention. Pay attention to your heart. Yellow. Pay attention to your heart.
I can't believe she had a yellow suit. Oh my goodness, a yellow suit. Yellow is for her cornbread. Gmama made the best cornbread, the best banana pudding in the oven. She said you got to know when the bananas is ripe. You just got to know when to peel and when to wait. That's what bananas teach you, she said. Bananas teach you patience. Even though sometimes it don't seem like nothing gonna change, things do change if you wait. They just don't always change the way you think. I remember when I signed the divorce papers, it was like pulling up dandelions. Like I was pulling up something beautiful from my life. Only thing was, they was weeds. No matter how beautiful they look on the outside, they is choking up the grass. Every time I see yellow, I think about choking. It was like I couldn't breathe no more. I guess it's hard to breathe with someone walking on you with boot prints. Gmama had sweet, And I wanted me somebody like my granddaddy sweet. Somebody who knowed how to leave his work shoes out back. A man who knowed how to walk on my heart with light steps. Maybe I need to come back home. Maybe I need to come back south. South. To find a light-footed man back home. A man with no boot prints.
I brought that yellow suit because I wanted to be seen. I feel invisible, like no one could see the tears bathing my body, trying to cleanse the stains off my soul. Sometimes life was for rethinking some things. I tell Myeshia, slow down. Gingel drives too fast and the light on yellow. I still calls the Gingel when she ain't listening. People think yellow means speed up. We got to slow down and think. I had a lot to think about my last few years of living, mostly about what's left behind. Wasn't much left ahead. Not for me. Death was ahead. Dying was ahead, and I was tired of living. Ready for the good Lord to take me home. I know what was ahead. The Lord said, Eula, you's dying. I knew I was dying, not because the doctor said so, because the Spirit told me. I didn't have no more strength for misery. Not just my family, the misery in the world. Everybody had some misery. Mrs. Anderson, I worked for her till the last child went off to the university. 29 years. 29 years. They had their misery too. But I didn't see the same kind of sadness in their eyes like the sadness in ours. It was more like money sprayed sunshine, like sunshine on their stormy days, wipe some of their sadness away. I wanted to wipe some of Myeshia's. I wanted to wipe some of her memory of Gingel, some of the sadness from her eyes. I pray it works too. Wipe away some of that pain in her soul.
He broke me into crumbs not fit for a dog's meal. I turned into dust on the floor and I became clay again for his manipulation. He could turn me into anything and gray matter. I surrendered to him like a drunk looking for $1. Gray is the color of indecision. Why any woman wants a gray suit, I don't know. I was stuck in between my grandmother's life and my own nightmare. I was scratching the air looking for a place to hold on to. I couldn't find an anchor. Swaying in the middle, straddling the fence. That is what gray means to me. Stuck. Living between depression and sorrow. The color of uncertainty, the color of doubt, the color of my insecurities, misty and dismal. The color of my ink running out when a paper is due right now. The color of procrastination, gray. My grandmother is growing old, gray. The color of city living, mice. The color of mice. Those damn mice stuck on sticky traps, groping for freedom, crying like babies with their head in a noose. Boredom. Bored. My life is boring. Gray. 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 My life is boring. It's becoming something else.
Gmama lived longer than anyone I knowed. Longer than anyone I know, Gmama lived. She lived until she turned completely gray. I remember that gray suit trimmed in white. I bought her for Mother's Day a few years back. Came home for a few weeks, took her to church, and then, of course, shopping. Gmama loved going to that church and the mall. She wanted all of us to love the Lord like she did. Love the Lord. Love the Lord like she did. She died from heart disease. At least that's what the doctors reported. Dr. Irvin said that her heart was as thin as tissue paper. Her arteries had collapsed so much there was nothing else they could do. Nothing else they could do. I think she died from heartbreak. Gmama has seen more misery than any heart. Any heart should have to hold. 89 years is a long time to see all that sorrow. We didn't know if Gmama was singing an old hymn or making up her own song to the Lord. We just catch on and start singing with her. All we knowed was that when she got to singing to her Jesus, the house fell silent, and all we heard was her. She didn't do it often, but when she did, we know things was gonna be all right. That's how we know things was gonna be all right. Gmama singing.
Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. Long way from home. Ooh, a long way from home.
When I got gray, I just started singing. Just singing to my Jesus. That's how I know things was going to be all right. I visited Gingel up north twice. I finally got further than the Mason-Dixon line. That was that freedom line we all heard about. I told her times was changing for women's. I told her I had been copied most of my life, and I was tired of being copied, was tired of being walked on by men's children, grandchildren, life. I was tired of being walked on. I was seeing women's do all kinds of things I had never thought about. Women's doing things, women's becoming president in Africa, women's running for president in the United States. Women's was changing the world. Women's was being more than just caught. It's too late for me. But if I could, I'd like to be a cup and a saucer. Yeah. It would be nice having somebody pouring into me. Every time eyes pour out, somebody pouring into me and letting the cup overflow into the saucer. Letting the cup overflow. Yeah, that would be nice. And I could drink up all the sweetness left in the bottom of the plate. Sop it up with one of my biscuits. My husband's sweet was like that. But he didn't live long enough. He didn't live long enough to help me soak up some of my misery. He didn't live long enough to see my hair turn completely gray, to see the world change right in front of our eyes, to see Myeshia grow up.
It's so cliche to bury her in white. I think that's the last 3 funerals everybody had, their mother or grandmother in white. My mother was not an angel. She was not pure white, the color of falling snow. My first time up north, I thought someone was throwing confetti. Looked like confetti, like God covered the night, covered all the darkness and poverty. Looked like we were even, like everyone was equal when it snowed. And when it melted, I thought of back home. I prayed to Jesus to resurrect my dead body from the rage of men, snatch me from their blows of fists and dicks spanking my skin with hurricane fury. And love is like a word on the page. I had too many nights, snow-covered nights. White covered the truth, made everything look pure, made everything look clean. My grandmother was not a saint. White. Yeah, maybe I'll put her in a white suit to cover the truth.
Gmama's funeral gonna be standing room only. The church the size of a 7-Eleven store with an aisle right down the middle. Seems like they've been building that church all my life. It's gonna look like glory in there. I know everybody gonna pass the word around to wear white suits. I'll have the church filled with white flowers. Gardenias, that's the truth. We grew up with gardenias. We grew up with gardenias outside the windows, covering the stench of blood stains as she couldn't get out of all them throw rugs. Why? Yeah, let's put her in her favorite white suit.
White, gardenias, the whitest flower I've ever seen. White, the color of angels, clouds. White, homemade ice cream. I will not put on a white suit.
Gmama's funeral. The pastor will call her mother in Zion because she raised everybody's children. That's why we should wear black to remember all the sorrow that's going to be stuffed in that pine box.
White, coconut cake, coconut patties, coconuts white meat, cracked on the side ground, coconuts, white, the snow up north, home.
Gmama's funeral, her eulogy. The Reverend Jones gonna preach a lie. Everybody gotta go home. Gotta go home one day. Gotta come back home. The South, home. The lies, they follow you. Even in death, the lies, the lies.
Home, white, peace, serenity. My grandmother's love for us was pure.
Gmama's funeral, the choir singing, they gonna dance and shout. Dance and shout all over that small church. It's gonna look like heaven with everyone all in that white. Gmama gonna be the only one in purple. I'm gonna give her her heavenly robe while she's sleeping. Don't want Jesus to make a mistake for her. No heathen. And don't want him to think she's no angel. She was our Gmama, our grandmother.
We're going to sing my grandmother's favorite song.
Gmama's favorite song gonna be sung and white gardenias.
My favorite song. And I am an old pilgrim. I know Myeshia will get them to sing that.
I am a poor pilgrim, of sorrow. I'm tossed in this old wide world, all alone. I ain't got no hope for tomorrow. I'm trying to make heaven my home. Sometimes I'm tossing, I'm driven, Lord. Sometimes I just don't know which way to turn. I heard of a city called heaven. I'm trying to make heaven my home.
I don't think Latonia knows we're on.
Oh, I was waiting for the director. Can everybody just give the director just a hand? Just can we bless him? Because he's doing a lot in terms of arranging them back, answering texts, and doing all of this. He's being stage manager and director and all of that. Thank you guys so much for joining us Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And of course, I'm the playwright, so I have seen this every time it's been performed. And today I sat here with my eyes closed because I know what each of y'all look like. To hear it. You get that? To just hear it. And I don't think I've ever done that before, but I wanted to hear it. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to see it performed. I wanted to hear it. And just your voices and the cadence and the rhythm, so I could finally hear what Nate has been saying to me for years, because I closed my eyes, and what Tennelia has been saying. Oh no, I don't want to mess it up. And her husband just said, great job to all y'all. So I was responding to him, letting him know thank you for lending her to us, because he's been with it from the beginning too. Right, he's been following along since we have been at UB.
Yes.
Right, when they were dating, and then they got married. So he's been a part of this for a very long time too. So I'm like, thank you. So I was just telling him, thank you. You guys did a phenomenal job, even with just the minor technical difficulties, and going for, and we didn't know, and y'all gonna go back and look at it and see. Right, y'all gonna go back and look at it and see, because we didn't know how it would go virtually. We wasn't sure if we could pull that off with everybody virtually. But I guess from the comments I'm getting in my text, the comments that are on the thing, you guys did it. You guys did a phenomenal job. And I heard it, and some people saying, I want to see it back on stage. And I'm like, yes, amen. I want to see it back on stage too. Nate? Look at that. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Nate.
Can you hear me now?
I still can't hear you. Can y'all hear Nate? I can't.
Yeah, I can hear Nate.
So, first of all, I have to say James Brown for always making me do text. I don't do this. I'm not computer savvy. All this is foreign to me. So thank you all for trusting the process. I am really happy and really excited that we got to do this. Just almost 2 weeks ago, Latonia messaged me and thought maybe this could be possible. And it really took me out of this funk that I've been in this last month, trying to be creative in a bedroom, trying to literally be creative in this space for the last 30 plus days. But thank you first of all to the ladies and to Blue, and to everybody that's been messaging, and they just heard the message, Blue.
Right.
So I'm really appreciative of all the people that have been watching and messaging. I don't know. I'm not because I don't know. I know the connection that I have with this piece, and I don't know what it's going to take for me to be like, you know what, Latonia, I think it's time for somebody else to touch it now. It says a lot about the piece that no matter what configuration, what platform, what the timing is, that it's possible that the play stands on its own. And I'm really appreciative to everybody who tuned in today. If you want to see this up and running when this crisis is over, please don't feel free to message me or Latonya and say I want to see this. Talk to Latonya first, because that's the lady who this piece belongs to. But reach out to me and let us know what is possible. And so I'll pass it over to the ladies. If there's any questions, please feel free. We still got a couple more minutes. So let us know whatever questions you may have, what you feel. I'm gonna give it to Blue first, because we haven't heard from him as much. But everybody go around and just tell me what you felt, what you think, how did this feel to you, and first and then share your experience for all the ones who wasn't on at the top of the show.
Well, first, the story is a beautiful story. The way that it's told, the characters come to life for me. So whenever I'm actually able to participate, I get kind of entranced in the story and forget where I'm supposed to be. So I have to kind of make sure that I'm paying attention, because I love the story every time that I hear the story. It's a very powerful story, and I love the fact that every personality is shown. Gmama, Gingel, Myeshia, all of them, and I'm just entranced with the storytelling. And just to have me as a part, like I said, the song "City Called Heaven" is one of my most favorite songs.
Oh wow!
Gospel songs. And when we were first singing this song, I wasn't supposed to do the solo for the song. Someone else was. And I just stumbled into the choir room, and I was like, well, let me try. And it was a song that it grew on me. And So whenever I'm singing it, I'm actually hearing the choir in the background because it's a choir-driven song, and I'm just leading the vocals to it. But I hear them in the background, and whenever I am involved in the play, I'm thinking of that moment way back when y'all did it for the first time.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all nostalgic for me. And I again, this is more of an honor because it's been so long since I've seen you. And to actually stumble across Nate and say, I'm doing this play and I need you to sing this song. And I'm like, what song you talking about? I don't know that song. I don't know what you talking about. And then he like sing the song and when he told me the name, I'm like, okay, I know that song, but I haven't sung this in years. And then I'm there doing it, and I'm like, oh wait, I was there for this. So this is an honor for me. Y'all did an excellent job as always. I love it. I love it. So keep having me. If you can have me back, that would be wonderful.
I feel like that was Latonia's reaction too. Wait, I know him.
I didn't see him at first. I heard that voice.
Right.
And you could have bought me for a penny because like him, I was catapulted right back to that first day when men Tennelia, we didn't know what we didn't know who we was like what. But we going with it. And so it brought me back to that first time too. I was done.
Before we go any further, Dr. Natasha Pratt Harris says, is this the first of its kind FaceTime live play? I believe a lot of people are doing readings and productions, but this is the first time BootPrints in our production has been up and running virtually, only virtually. Yeah. So the next person, you can go ahead. T.
What?
Just your reaction for the people who weren't listening before, what your connection to this piece is, and whatever.
I love doing theater, and I was working at Baltimore City Community College at the time, and I came across this up and coming playwright that said, I'm going to write a play for you. And I said, okay, let me know. And it turned out to be this wonderful, at the time, one-woman play called entitled BootPrints. And she said, but it has 3 different voices. Can you do 3 different voices? And I was like, sure. And it was Women's History Month. I do remember that, us being in that classroom, having a small audience, the singing. You know, it was a production. It was something I was very proud to be part of. And from that, it grew. It grew with information. It grew with colors and love and so much more. It outgrew me. I'll say that. It outgrew me because there were more ladies that we needed to bring to this piece. There were some more voices that needed to share this wonderful piece of art because I was not able to do it alone.
Miss
She has done it alone though. She keeps saying that, but I want her to be clear. She has. When we took it to DC, that stage. And she ran in the back crying. She was like, "Oh!" I said, "They don't know where you messed. Only you, me, Nate. Only the people with the script know what happened." And I loved her because even though she was like, "It's so different because you're like in my face. The person who wrote it is there. This is not a script from some nameless person we don't know. You're in my." And I was like, yeah, but you held the emotional integrity of the piece the whole time. So I don't care nothing about a line missing here, there. She held on to that thing and we got to stand in a. People were sitting against the wall in DC that first time we went, and she carried that thing by herself. off. And we haven't seen it as a one-woman show since then.
Ooh,
Have
it
we?
was awesome. It was something.
That
Have we
sounds like
seen
a
it as a
challenge.
I don't think so.
show? Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So then Nate came on and
Look, I think that's why. I think that's why we haven't seen it as a one-woman show.
I think you hear it differently when it's all three of the women versus one character. Tennelia did a phenomenal job, but something is different when you see the three women. Every time I've tried to touch it again, I try to add in the music and try to make that intimacy. As a one woman show, it's really intimate and it requires just a lot. I saw actually that night we did it in DC. I started out helping Tennelia and I fell asleep, trying to help her. But it took, I saw all the work that it took for that one person to do. And I take my hat off to all of you, because even with 3 people doing it, it is still a lot.
Yes, it's very emotional.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, emotional. It's 12 monologues. That's a lot. But I really, I challenge anyone who think they can do it. I do. I challenge you. Jay.
Hey everyone, because I'm finishing up. Sorry, Zachariah has entered the room.
Hey Zach.
He said hi. So I've been working with Nate and Tennelia for about 11 years now, on and off at different things. 4 babies ago. So y'all were there for the first one. So yeah, it's been about 11 years. I've done this piece twice already, I believe. And like everybody said, it's just a really good piece to tap into for any actor, for an actress to tap into her memory, like to be able to draw emotional recall. So for me, not only just being able to share Latonia's work, it's also a great piece to challenge myself each and every time I do it, because each time I do it, I'm not Gmama. So one time I'm Gmama, one time I'm Myeshia, then I'm back to being Gmama. So then, just really learning how to maneuver through the different characters has been quite the experience. But I enjoy working with you guys all the time. So,
Nate, we had mentioned earlier that every time we do a show together with Jo, she ends up blessing us with another wonderful child. I wonder.
Y'all hear Zachariah, so no more. Thank you. God bless.
Mr. Sarah?
Yes, sir. I'm actually trying to remember. I think. Can I tell you what, sir? My connection to the show? Yes.
No, go ahead.
I think. Oh, okay. I was Latonia and I were attending the same church in Baltimore, and I had been doing a lot of performing, and she approached me about this piece and asked me if I would audition for it. And I believe my audition was with Nate at UMBC. I feel like it was.
First of all, it was Coppin State University. Eagle Pride.
It was Coppin. Yes, sorry.
Hey,
Coppin.
Coppin.
Yes, sorry. Now it comes back. Sorry.
You got 3 Coppin nights here. Watch out.
Oh boy, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean no. Or give it. Audition for the show, and I have to agree with Jay. As a performer, it is a challenging piece, and it kind of puts me in the mindset of vagina monologues. But it's a challenge as from the perspective of memory, but then also taking the emotional journey and having to have the discipline and knowing when to take the beats, and really, really taking in the language, because a lot of the language, well, all of the language is so crafted wonderfully. And I did it, I feel like it was about 8 years ago when we did it in DC. It was 3 of us that did it in DC. And it touched my heart in a special way, because I had experienced molestation early in life. And so it was a way for me to connect. And I've experienced death, intimate death, losing my dad. And so connecting, using that framework to help me to get into the character, it's been great. I feel like a newbie coming aboard. They let me crash the party. They have a wonderful connection, and I'm just like crashing the party. And I'm grateful to everybody, and it's been great. Had a fun time. Thank you so much.
We've had a lot of awesome feedback. Bishop, let me get this right. Bishop Gina A. Dorsey, she says, you guys are awesome. Latonia and Nate, I celebrate the two of you, and this was a phenomenal virtual reading. Thank you to everybody that's kept it going. Miss Jean Glover says, bravo. I think that's Eddie the trainer.
That's my mama.
Oh, go ahead, mama. Go ahead. Eddie the trainer, love it. He been posting this whole time. And Tammy LeRae says, I'm sorry, Mr. Brown, I'm sorry for all the times I didn't come to play. Excellent theatrical reading. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for the invite, Shanti. And first of all, I have to say thank you to all the many people that have, we had a couple businesses that sponsored, and I'll run their commercials at the right end of this. And then we had a couple donors. You all were still sending in a couple dollars. If you still want to, I'll put that thread right back up there, so you'll be able to do so. But in us kind of rounding this out, if each of you could speak something into the atmosphere for this, specifically for this piece, can you go around and speak that, either those few words or that word or that sermon, whatever you feel on your heart, and then I'll let Latonia close it out with her thank yous and her I love yous, and the information on her new church and her new walk as senior pastor of POW Mission Center. So go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Your one word or your thoughts or something you want to put out in the universe for this production.
That this production will continue to grace stages everywhere, be it physically, be it through virtual reality, be it through whatever platform that the Most High has set out for this, and that it will create healing, not only just for those who are listening, but those who are also performing.
Amen.
Awesome. Sounds good. I totally agree with Jay. I would love to see this brought back. I love it so much. But one of my favorite lines was wanting to be a cup and a saucer. I want someone to pour into me, and even if it ends up on that saucer, you can take the biscuit and sop it up. It just does something for me right there. But I appreciate this opportunity, and I enjoyed myself tremendously with you ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Blue.
Okay. Okay. Don't be afraid to let your voice be heard. Use your experience, use what was traumatic to give way to your healing, to give way to rescuing others. And I echo the sentiments of everybody else.
The word that I have is I hope that the story touches, it reaches all, women, men, that the story actually reaches individuals and that it resonates with them the way that it resonated within me, and that it does the healing, and it encourages conversation. This piece actually is a very, very deep piece. It's a very emotional piece, and I think it'll inspire people to tell their stories. Because I swear every time I hear it, it's just like wow. So, and every time I'm a part of it, I'm like wow. So I'm praying that this hits the stage again, and that it is as big as it is in my mind, because the way I see it is, I mean, it's like The Color Purple to me. Like I'm like going back and reliving moments in it. So I'm hoping that at some point I'm looking at it on a big screen and I'm like, woo wee. So I'm speaking that to the atmosphere.
So I'll go before Latonia, and I want to say, one, I plan on continuing this until this is over, or I'm gonna go crazy in these four walls. But our next show, uh, me and Latonia are gonna talk to see if she has anything else in her treasure chest that we can mount and put up and inspire or entertain, however it is supposed to come out. But our next one is going to be on May 3rd, and it's going to be an August Wilson tribute. And I'm bringing together guys from many different walks of life, and they're going to show out and show up and do some awesome monologues from August Wilson. I like this platform. It's easy. All I had to do was put on a Snousy t-shirt, and I was ready. I thank you all for taking the time. This is not easy. Theater is not easy, especially when we have so many restrictions as we have right now. So I'm really blessed and really thankful that you ladies and gentlemen continue to support me and continue to trust in me. It ain't ever easy, but theater is not supposed to be easy. And shout out to Natasha Richburg, Mia Muse, Maureen, and Big Exposed Radio for supporting us in a way of sponsorship. And to all the many donors, I'll be sending out thank you messages to you. And everybody that has stayed on this time. I saw people, they didn't leave this whole time, so I really appreciate it. And I'm going to hand it over to Latonia. And the last thing I'm going to say is, if you want to continue to support this mission or the mission of this series in general, you can definitely reach out to me, send me a message, or you can send us a donation to BootPrints, all capital letters, BOOTPRINTS, $ first, and we'll greatly appreciate it. And it's going to help the participating artists as well as a few organizations that are also helping out many people that are struggling and trying to get through this moment. So I'm going to pass it over to Latonia, and she's going to close us out.
Thank you, everyone, for joining and staying. And here's the thing about staying, the patience that it takes to stay. I wanted to get up. I was like, I need to go to the restroom. And I could not move because of just the voices, and I closed my eyes. So I'm grateful every time I hear it. And that's the thing about an artist. We're still vessels, because every time I hear it, I promise you, I don't even believe I wrote it. I know it's my life because I'm hearing the pieces of it. I'm hearing my hometown. I'm hearing my childhood memories. I'm hearing the reflection. So that is how I know, yep, that happened. Yep, that's me. Yeah. But when I hear it in its totality, I know that I was just a vessel that God used to just birth this out in the atmosphere. So I hope with this birthing, especially because it's virtual, that somebody gets it and picks it up and take it somewhere. Even if me, Tennelia, Nate, Jesaira, and Joe, and Blue, even if we're just sitting on, even if we're not in it, but we all sitting on the front row, because all y'all getting tickets if I got anything to do with it. You're gonna be sitting in the front row, and we just gonna be sitting there going, "Oh my God," because that's the type of person that I am. I will not forget the people who have made this thing possible for me and has taken this journey with me. So I got to give shout out to Theron Coleman. She has never been in a production of BootPrints, and she has never been absent. And she has, I've played with her a couple of times. Come on, get in it. No way. She has played with the script. She has practiced the script. She was like, nope, I can't do what Tennelia has done. No, no, no. But she has been my moderator. She has been the talkback person. And for this Facebook production, she has been one of the sponsors. She is a dear, dear friend of mine who likewise has taken this BootPrints journey with me from day one. So I just
So true.
yes, yes. So I have to give her that she's another behind the scenes person that people don't know. She's that friend and supporter who puts her money and time where her mouth is, and she has joined me and to Neil, yes, being the talkback person and other plays that I have done. She has done that to me. So love you to all my family, my friends, my church members, my son, just people, everybody who's gonna see this and hear this. Thank you so much. And if y'all pick up Blue, I won't be mad because somebody needs to get his boy a recording contract. Not be mad. Pick
Well,
him up.
you will always have first dibs. So just know that wherever I go,
and still come back and sing for me.
that's right. That's right.
Thank you. So his voice, I know, I don't know if all of them are even still acting now. Jesaira is a counselor now. Tennelia is a housewife. Joe got 4 children. I mean, well, you might be a housewife right now with the pandemic. So I don't even, are you ladies still even acting? Is everybody, no, I gotta know.
No.
No, right? Oh my God.
No.
I got to get back into it though. You know, that's my life. That was my life. I love it.
Careers and different things.
Yes, I am working full time. I'm a full time mom. Now I'm a homeschooling mom.
Right.
But I haven't been back on the stage since my son. No, we did, Joe, Nate. I think we did work on something not too long right after I had Caleb. But that was a small production for a weekend. And that's it. Other than that, I have not.
You did.
Just haven't had the chance.
You did in the other one.
What?
So are we? I have to bid adieu to everyone and thanking everybody for tuning in. If your name didn't appear on the bottom of the scroll, we'll be sending you out a message and a thank you message. So thank you to everyone. All of you all, please join me in the group chat afterwards so I can give you a couple thoughts. So peace out. See y'all later.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
I do peace.
I was stuck between my grandmother's life and my own nightmare.
Blood in my pink panties. Pink blood on my sheets.
He crumbled me into pieces.
That wasn't no way to treat no wife, even if I was like carpet.
I wanted to be loved.
All kinds of shoes. Got to walk on a woman's chest. Boots, dress shoes, sneakers, cleats too. There was hardly no more love left in me. I was married to him too long.
If loving you was just a dream, then let me rest forever. It's just me and you and right now, baby. Will you be the one? Will you be the one? Will you be the one to take my heart away?
I was stuck between my grandmother's life and my own nightmare.
Blood in my pink panties. Pink blood on my sheets.
He crumbled me into pieces.
That wasn't no way to treat no wife, even if I was like carpet.
I wanted to be loved.
All kinds of shoes got to walk on a woman's chest. Boots, dress shoes, sneakers, cleats too. There was hardly no more love left in me. I was married to him too.